Hi, this is Karen Van Wert, and I wanted to share with you some of my findings in testing various stop technique tools. Stop techniques can be desirable if you want to practice or rehearse in a smaller space and you don't want to damage your ears. You may want to minimize the amount of sound that the bell is producing. It's also a technique that can be used in an actual piece. For example, Kath Wisinger's Cool Cats calls for a stop technique. This is a new concept for bell trees, but it's something that might catch on as we develop some tried and true methods of creating a stop sound. So first of all, let me share with you kind of what the stop sound does. Typically when we ring a bell, it's going to reverberate for an extended period of time, depending on the bell casting itself. The tools that I have hanging on these castings, I would typically put them towards the back of the bell so that they're not going to be in my way when I'm meloding, but I wanted you to be able to see them. So let's hear what those sound like. And you can see that, or you can hear that as I go down the tree, the bigger the piece is that's touching the casting, the less sound production I get. So if you want it to resonate a little bit more, you may want to have one of the smaller ones that I have towards the top here. So let's take a look at each one of these. The first one is actually an eyeglass cleaner. I picked it up at the Iowa State Fair. You can see it looks kind of like a tweezers, and I put a hairband on it to keep it clamped onto the casting. And I put some tape there because the hairband tends to slip on this plastic because of the angle that it's at. So that the tape is just creating some friction so that the hairband doesn't slide. You can adjust these a little bit by pulling them on or pushing them onto the bell a little bit more so that you have more surface touching that casting, but it doesn't have a lot of difference in that sound. These are very inexpensive. All of these things you can get online at Amazon. The second one is another tweezer type eyeglass cleaner. This one has a little bit flatter sides so the hairband stays on tighter. It has the same kind of effect as the other one. These are more expensive, but they also come with a case that covers this open part so it will protect it in your gear bag. The next one is kind of interesting. This one is, it's actually a cable tie. So it has two magnets, it's covered with silicone. And you just put one magnet on the inside of the casting and one magnet on the outside of the casting. And it's gonna stay on that casting really nicely. You can adjust it, pulling it in or putting more surface on the casting to change that sound. I'm actually really kind of liking these as an option. They're small and compact, and they're about $1 a piece. The next one is one of the first ones that I tried, and this is actually a magnetic clip that you may have at home. This one happens to be from J.D. Pepper. And what I did was covered it with a baby sock and then put it onto the bell casting. The difficulty with these is that it's difficult not to get too much casting covered, so you get that dead sound as if the handle was touching the casting. So it's not as desirable. And if you try and get just a little tip of it on there, then it's going to tend to fall off. So I haven't been overly excited about those, but the fact that a lot of us have them at home makes it a good option to at least start playing around with. The last one is another clip. These clips are have silicone teeth on them. I thought these might work nicely, but if you put the whole thing on, it really deadens it too much. If you put just a little bit on, so you get a nice stop sound, it's still kind of heavy. So these I'm not too excited about because I think they're too heavy of a stop sound, But depending on what your technique, what you're looking for in your sound production, these might be an option as well. Again, they're a silicone clip. Those are the options that I have explored thus far. If you have any options that you've looked at that you would like to share with us, I would be happy to include them in future conversations.